Couch.
When there's an injustice against you or someone you love or someone you believe in, stand up. Don't sit down on them if they need you.
Welcome to Pop Culture Justice here on Popcorn Planet, and today we're going to be talking about Aquaman! With two of my favorite people. Look who's here. Louis Lecca from Nerd Report, and amazingly, the good Amy Goodhart is here from the ECB. Welcome both of you guys. How are you doing today on this lovely Wednesday?
Wednesday, hump day.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Great.
Hump day.
It is hump day. We are getting through it, and I'm so happy to have you both because, guys, we got some scoops. We got some to talk about, and some big Hollywood news that's connected to that woman who shall not be named, who now we know literally Warner Brothers doesn't want to say her name either. It's quite amazing. Go ahead, Amy. You were going to say something.
I was going to say, literally, you cannot say her name. And once we get into the show, I'll tell you why.
Woo! All right. Well, we got lots to break it down. So happy to see all you guys in the chat. If you caught a live show, welcome. You're here with us live. I'm so happy to have you. It's going to be a fun one. I can't wait to hang out with you guys. And thanks. I just came from the new studio, guys. There is stuff happening. It's getting built and painted. I carried a lot of your presents and stuff over there. So thank you, everybody. I cannot wait. I'm hoping this weekend it's finalized. My plan was to try and do it by Monday, but bear with me, guys. It's a lot. I got a lot to do this week. You might be able to tell I'm very tired. I'm trying to fit in a lot, but I'm giving all my energy for you guys. It might be maybe not a full 3-hour show. We'll see what happens, but bear with me, and thank you for the support as it comes in and watching this morning's video, because yes, we had a scoop, and I'm so happy because I got my Hollywood insider Louis here, and our own Amy Goodhart, who is also her own insider. She works in productions and stuff out there in Hollywood. So I want to talk about the insides of Hollywood and this Aquaman 2. Oh, where is it? There we go. This Aquaman 2 scoop that I was able to get, basically confirming that, yes, they do not want to refer to her name on set. They're not only they don't want to, it's now a rule. Amy, you know a little, you heard a little bit about this. Can you help to elaborate what we're talking about here?
Sure. Well, I mean, I'll preface this by saying, you know, Louis and I both talk about, like, Hollywood is a small town, and working on sets myself, I would say that craft services, which is, you know, the counter where you get your snacks, everyone is eating snacks. That's like our version of the water cooler talk in offices. So, you know, any production, I've worked on collaborations with Marvel doing commercials and also pre-production for films, and you sign an NDA. And the NDAs, I have one pulled up actually, if you want to know how serious they are. They're serious when they're working on big productions, big studio productions. I mean, there's clauses in there where if you break the non-disclosure agreement, the NDA, you can get fined $100,000.
Whew.
And fired. And then all of your documents have to get burned. And most big studios, whether it's, you know, a Marvel thing, a DC thing, or any kind of big superhero movie, because the movies take so long with post-production and green screen and motion capture and everything, the NDA standard is for 5 years. You can't talk about it. And they also renew automatically each year after, unless you have written permission. So, you know, an NDA is pretty serious. But regardless, when I'm working on sets, and again, I do a lot of commercials, you know, music videos, stuff like that. If we're working on a weekend, then most of the big crews from the other movies we share all the same crews. So it's a small town, but when there's a big production happening, you might have all the same PAs, the same grips, the same electric team, sound people. And we all know each other. I mean, sometimes they're shooting something down the street and one of the security guys is like, "Hey, what's up, Amy?" And, you know, it's kind of small, but people do talk because we know each other. We work together and, you know, see each other month after month and on different productions. And lo and behold, I did work on a small commercial. It was just a 1-day shoot, super easy, simple situation. And some of the crew members We're working on Aquaman 2.
Ooh, the reshoots.
The reshoots.
Ooh, so you can confirm this, what I'm hearing then, maybe?
I can confirm what I heard around the crafty table, heard around the Cheetos and the coffee.
Oh, so it's true. So you can confirm it's true. Well, the source is that yes, there's talk of people on that set who maybe shouldn't have said things, that maybe were saying things off comment that you're like, well, I didn't sign that NDA.
I didn't sign that NDA because I'm not on that movie. But also, a lot of production assistants are young. They're trying to get their foot in the door. They want to be as friendly and helpful. If you need a chair, they run get you a chair. If you need a bottle of water, they're there for a bottle of water. And they know, the more friendly they are with people, they're going to get a good reputation and get more jobs from different people on this, on the production. But they're young kids most of the time. So Chatty Cathy at Crafty will say, we'll just say that certain people who were working on the reshoots of Aquaman 2 on Friday were working with me on Saturday, and also some of them were working yesterday. And here's the funny thing about these productions. So there's always a code name. They use code names for a lot.
It was interesting because Marvel, for a while, sorry to interrupt, but the Avengers, like, there was a phase where they would use Seinfeld episodes, like the big salad, and there's always, whatever the big crew, they'll be a fan of something, they'll just start secretly naming related things to a show they love or a book or whatever.
Exactly. And even if it's like a music video where the person isn't playing a character, they're just playing themselves. I did a Justin Timberlake video about 3 or 4 years ago, and we could only call him John Smith. And Justin Timberlake was then John Smith. Or Ed Sheeran's name was something else. But one of the reasons why they will ask, not to mention someone's name isn't just for code and leaked publicity or TMZ showing up. It's because they recast people. So that's just food for thought, because again, I did a one music video, and the female love lead person was she was actually recast. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sorry,
Eddie's do
I'm
some
here.
Technical stuff
Sorry,
in the background.
Yeah.
Oh, no worries.
I'm here. Keep going.
Yeah, I was just to reinforce what Amy does. Look, Amy and I, we work in Hollywood. We know the big stars, like really big people, but we're kind of like on different sides of the spectrum. I'm press mostly. She's technical person. So
I'm at the bottom of the food chain.
Oh, this is not the. No, you're not. I'm on the bottom. Damn it! I'm on the bottom.
I mean, I'm creative, but they still look at us as technical, which it should be.
Yeah, but you make these actors look good, and some of them really don't. So with the clothes and everything, you see what you are the backbone of the films that really deserve more credit for your job. Yeah. Honestly, if you ask me. Listen, what you're saying is true, and I've stumbled across this. I spoke to a few people that were doing like the makeup before going to do interviews. They offer the press person, which was me at this point, some makeup, to touch up the bags under my eyes or whatever, because we're going to be interviewing under lights. And I made friends with a few of them, and I was shocked to learn that they do sign NDAs. And the reason is because when they're on the set doing makeup for actors or actresses, when they're doing interviews and stuff, you start to hear things, like don't say AH's name and stuff like that. Stuff that could be even not incriminating, but could, let's just say, inquiring minds may want to know, like someone's dating someone or someone's in a bad mood or whatnot. So with I don't know the entire situation of why you can't say AH's name on the set of Aquaman 2, but if I had to take a guess, and I've been doing this for like almost 20 years, is because when you're filming, you want to be in a good, positive mood. And I feel that Jason Momoa, the directors, and everyone there feel betrayed by this person, Amber Heard, okay? And they're filming and they don't want negativity in their space because it will reflect off what they're filming. That's one aspect that is possible. I'm not saying that's 100% sure, but I'm going to tell you this, Amy. I'm going to give you guys an exclusive. I was at Comic-Con a few years ago, and Eli Roth was at a Fogo de Chão's, which is all meat,
Brazilian place. I love that. Yeah,
and we were promoting. He was promoting the Green Inferno, which is a cannibalism movie, right? So that's why the tie-in with all the you can eat beef, and he showed the group a clip, and it didn't work. Okay, he was pissed, man, but he wouldn't show it. So the PR said, "Please do not mention the clip effing up." You get what I mean? Because it will trigger Eli Roth. I think Amber Heard triggers the cast and the crew of Aquaman. That's what I think it is. They feel betrayed. They gave this person the benefit of the doubt. They probably know people that have been victims, and they brought her in. They feel sympathetic for her, and she betrayed them. They trusted her with the movie, their work, and she betrayed them. I feel that's probably why she's getting the Voldemort treatment or the Freddy Krueger treatment, because you can't say Freddy Krueger's name either. Don't forget that.
The other thing I heard was with with the reshoots on Friday was that they really are pulling crew from all the other movies and crew right now because Warner Brothers is spending a lot more money than anticipated for the reshoots. And some of the talk was that they'll spend as much as they need to fill in time so that her role is, and what I heard, down to 2 minutes. And so that's expensive because you got to pay a lot of money to the other actors that have to be working that day and all the crew and all the time. It's like millions and millions of dollars just to do these reshoots, but they're really trying to fill time here. And some people say 2 minutes is still too long to have her, but they're taking it seriously that don't mention her name. She's not here. She didn't show up to set both days. So I don't know where she is.
She threw the studio under the bus. If you listen closely, she used the argument that she was also defamed to the point where she wasn't getting any gigs, and she went as far as, I believe, even testifying that Warner Brothers cut her scene entirely out of Aquaman 2 and maybe even 3, and that forced Walter Hamada to come in, who was the president or the guy in charge of DC Films, which Aquaman's a DC film, to go and disprove her. And he rolled his eyes at the question. If you look at Amy, he actually no, she wasn't never fired. She used that argument. She said Walter Hamada fired her because Johnny Depp was, doing the defamation accusations. And it was not true, forcing Walter Hamada to go and correct everything. So she was trying to throw Warner Brothers and DC under the bus for her financial gain, which at the end she did get that $2 million settlement and stuff, and it was all based on BS. So Warner Brothers.
But she got paid. She did get paid to do Aquaman.
Of course, yeah.
And that goes back to where is all of her money going to? I mean, if I made that kind of money. That's the part. It's like she did get paid.
Yeah.
Along with all the other money that she got from Johnny and everything else. But yeah, Warner Brothers right now does not have, allegedly, I'll say, or whatever. They don't have a problem spending more money than anticipated. And movies go over budget, but if it's her fault that they're really going this much over budget because of her actions, her behavior, it's almost like they're cleaning up her mess. But I was just happy to hear that there'll be less and less and less of her when the movie does come out, because no one wants to look at her. I mean, if I was working on the movie and they're like, you are not allowed to mention her name, I was like, I'm good with that.
I mean, what's
wanna
interesting? Well, I was sorry if I can chime in.
Yeah, of course, we were just speaking time.
No, I'm not sorry. What's interesting to me is they are doing all this and they're cutting her down to 2 minutes, and they're not just cutting her out completely. And I'm curious what you guys think in chat. I'm gonna get your comments and thoughts in. You can pin comment. We'll send it on over. I saw a few come in. I'll get there in a second. But connecting it to the other story, which I want to talk more about in this Batgirl plan, the fact that they literally shut this whole movie down, to me it was shocking, to be honest. But then as I did some homework and was reading the trades about sort of what the reason was, there was a business reason why they did this. I actually heard someone who saw the film, talked to someone who saw the film, so I got a insight on the film itself. And yes, they said the movie was bad. It's not like the worst movie of all time bad, but it was bad in that it looked like a TV movie. It just didn't have the cinematic look that I think everyone wanted or expected for what Warner Brothers wants to do moving forward with DC, and I think that makes sense. They did it on a smaller budget. This was not a high budget. It doesn't mean the film was bad or the performances were bad per se, but you know, it didn't rank hugely in the test screening. It didn't look good. And the real reason that both this and the Scoob sequel were cut was because there's a business takeover right now. And basically there's a lot of lost earnings. And so there's like a weird loophole that he has until the Zaslav guy has until mid-August to basically say what's a loss and what doesn't count towards his bottom line, because the Warner Brothers is already like in debt by like a whatever it is, a lot of money. And so this was sort of some clever bookkeeping to just sort of say, all right, cut these movies, and there may be some more in the coming days where they're basically trying to trim the fat to not have it be on the books. So therefore, as he's beginning his chapter as a new takeover, it's a business excuse that allows him to basically hit a reset and say, not my problem, I didn't do it, focus on these numbers instead. So that's really why Batgirl got shelved. In fact, they've made press releases and people have said they love Leslie Grace, they love the filmmakers, they want to work with them further, they apologize. It's just, you know, we have a new plan for our movies, and they took it away. Now, all right, that business excuse makes a little bit more sense. It does still seem weird that they wouldn't just put the film on HBO Max just to do it. But what's weirder to me is, okay, you have this business excuse. Why aren't you dumping The Flash? Why aren't you dumping, you know, and then resetting Aquaman as well to really set the bar? Like, cut her character out. Fine, keep Jason Momoa. Trim her character out. Figure it out in the next movie as your plans change. Do the plan, since that one's more theatrical and you've been putting a lot of money into it. Why would they risk it? Both of these movies is the real question I want to talk about as well, and we could talk more about the Amber drama, but to me, proving that it's not just they clearly don't care about the money. They're willing to chuck the money is what they just proved. So why wouldn't they do it with The Flash and Aquaman? Go ahead, Amy. What are your thoughts?
No, I was going to say, I mean, excuse me, you can go on IMDb, like the IMDb database website or app, and you can scroll to the details and see exactly what the budget of any film is and exactly what the box office made. It's all information about a production is there on IMDb, as accurate as possible. And, you know, the saying says it's, you know, you get what you pay for. There's a reason why some of these giant budget movies are really great, because they can afford the top-notch special effects people, the top-notch everything. I think with Batgirl, it's unfortunate because I think the actors are all very talented, a lot of great people, but it is a business thing. It is kind of an investment thing. If they say, okay, it's going to cost us this much money, but we're not going to make this much money, in a way that just, unfortunately, that happens.
Yeah, I speak the truth. But the difference is, though, Batgirl, $90 million production budget, allegedly. Sometimes they they tell you it's less than what it is because it makes the studio look bad. If they say it costs too much. From the start, Amy and Andy, people were not vibing off this film. It wasn't the actress Leslie Grace so much as to the costume looks like it's a CW show. It looks like a TV show. I thought it was fine, and also when they make movies, those were set pictures, right? Set photos, maybe paparazzis. When the film is shot, there's a filter that makes everything pop. I hate to say it. I'll say it again. People get pissed off at me. Thor, the Chris Hemsworth, is not that buff. Okay, they put a filter there. Everyone looks beautiful on TV because there's a filter, just like you have on Instagram. All right, so that it could have worked. The difference though here is no one was vibing off this movie, the Batgirl movie. Ezra Miller's film has already been shot. It cost over $200 million.
Dude, this movie was done, Lewis.
Yeah, but Ezra Miller's movie is $200 million, bro. And I heard it's really good. That's the thing. Aquaman was $1 billion movie, and it probably cost $300 million. So if you cancel all those, you're talking $500 million. You're talking, the insurance is gonna probably cover Batgirl over here. They could probably cover $100 million.
And even
$500 million, I don't know.
Even after a film is done, they still have to spend a lot. If the movie just doesn't, if they're like
promote itself,
we're going to take a hit. You say you have to do press junkets. They have to fly the actors all over the world. That's as expensive as hiring them to act.
Yep.
The promotion, all of that stuff really costs a lot of money, and also merchandise. They have to think ahead of time. Are we going to invest in action figures and dolls and all the new characters from Batgirl and all of that stuff? I mean, that's also an investment. So it goes, even when the film is finished, it really does go beyond when it comes to like all of the money and
that's a great point. I'll bet you there's Ezra Miller The Flash movie toys somewhere around there, and there's probably Mira toys on the shelves of Hasbro's factory right now, sitting there going, man, am I going to be released or not? Imagine how much those toys are going to be costing. For the collectors, you could get a hand on one of those toys of a film that never came out.
That's why I bought this Mira. One, so the couch would eat her. So the couch would eat her, but I knew it'd be worth money someday because they're all going to get burned and destroyed. It's a collector's item, and I love that she's getting eaten by a couch. Yeah, look, I'm confused by all this. It's so strange to me. This is a huge deal. I've ever seen a finished film of such a big IP with such big talent. I mean, Michael Keaton's Batman is in this movie, guys. Brendan Fraser is back as the villain. Leslie Grace is like an upcoming It girl, and this is directors of Bad Boys for Life and Miss Marvel, who I'm a fan of their work. I think they're good directors. I'm shocked this movie didn't just get dumped on HBO Max as a perk for the subscribers. You have it, it's done. It does still feel like a worthy to know that the write-off is going to save them more money than finishing the effects and whatever P&R, the marketing they have to do to sort of tell you it's out. It is, I gotta admit, it's shocking to me. However, I think you're also right, Lewis, or you're leading to it. They can't release this until Flash comes out. From what I'm told, from a story perspective, this takes place in the new DCEU, where Michael Keaton is now taking over for Ben Affleck, and he is the Batman in this universe. And that's what's going to happen in the Flash. And there were rumors that he might show up in Aquaman, but now they just put Ben Affleck in Aquaman 2 because clearly it didn't get done. The Flash is their biggest problem right now because if that movie falls apart and takes away, like everything falls apart. And so this might be a sign that it's all going to get canned. Like by canning Batgirl, they're like, look, we can't release this until Flash comes out. We may not even release the Flash. Why am I going to keep dumping money? I can actually save some money if I chuck this movie now. To me, the sign of this move being killed is such a big one that I think the ripples will continue in the coming weeks. The Flash could get killed, Lewis. He could try to use that as a write-off as well and just start over, which a lot of people are on Twitter are mad saying that they should. And I think this could, if we continue the loud noises for the next couple weeks, it could be the opportunity now to really make it clear to them, yo, if you're fixing all this, you're chunking these movies, you better get rid of the problem that is She Who Shall Not Be Named, because we're not watching the movie if she's in it, even for 2 minutes. And I'm going to do a poll because I know a lot of you are feeling the same way. They're like, I'm not seeing that movie unless it's 0 minutes. What do you think, Amy?
Well, I was going to say it's interesting too. The articles that are out, about Aquaman 2 and she who must not be named. I didn't sign an NDA. I just don't want to say her name. But it's interesting in the articles which ones mention the petition of how many millions of people said that they won't see the movie if she's in it, or that that she shouldn't be in it. I mean, that's millions of people signed that petition. So you can really tell who's biased on whose side as far as Amber or the studios or even Johnny fans and whatnot that leak into press and kind of see who mentions that and who doesn't.
True.
Great points. Also, I want to give a shout out to the community here. They're really liking our movie insights, Amy. So much love. Andy, as you know, is one of the best movie guys on the planet. He has some amazing content. Amy, right here, we're all getting to know her. So thanks for the comments right there. And me, I'm just the bald egghead that I want everyone to put the comment, my egghead, in the comments and stuff, and press like because Popcorn Planet is popping today. Yeah. So listen. Here's the deal, though. I'm starting to hear, Amy and Andy, that HBO Max may be no more. I think it's going to become Discovery Plus. And I also, that's why they're not dumping it. They're not dumping a Batgirl on Discovery Plus, because if it is a turd, the movie's not good. They don't want that reputation, that stench, to go on the good name that's Discovery Plus. Also, if you look at the stock market right now, as Warner Brothers is making its major moves, cutting these films and stuff and shows, the stock market for Warner Brothers is way up. So I don't know what's going on here. It's
I don't think HBO Max is going anywhere. I mean, I know a couple of secret productions that are in development and pre-production.
Still, they're not on the axe, because a lot of shows that are in production are all sweating right now.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm saying things that could be for HBO Max.
Right, but I'm saying
move it to Discovery, though.
They're all everything. I know everybody's working for HBO Max now is sweating because they don't know what's staying and what's going. Because I think you're right, Louis. I
worked for them designing Legendary for 3 months, so I know kind of the ins and outs of how HBO Max works.
Well, right, but the point being, like, it did, and now it won't. And so the question is now, as they're cutting everybody and firing everybody, there's rumors of more layoffs happening in the coming weeks because he's trimming all the fat to really start a company. And look, that makes sense. You're coming in, you're starting a new company, you're taking over a whole movie studio. And the thing that's most impressive about what this new Zaslav guy is doing, so we're going to talk Hollywood for a bit here, but it's like he believes in theatrical releases. And I'm like, thank God, finally someone isn't being stupid and someone's actually realizing, like, look at Top Gun Maverick. It made $1 billion in theaters. Like, yes, people still like theater experiences. Like, I do think it would behoove us to, like,
for so long. We didn't get to go to movie theaters for 2 years with COVID. And
people were like, movie theaters are going to go away. I want to watch in my house. I couldn't disagree more. You can always still have both. Like, make them a special experience in the movies, have a cinematic experience, and then in a few months, you don't need to go. Then you watch them at home. The windowing was something that always made sense to me, and I didn't understand why all these studios, Disney, all of them are like, yeah, we don't need to put it in theaters anymore. We're just going to put it on Disney. Sub. Ridiculous business model. The streaming should be ancillary to the theater business and make your money, and then, oh, by the way, this is the only place you can watch it at home. That makes sense. So cut your DVD, cut your other licensing and elsewhere, fine. Make it exclusive to you. There's still a value to wanting to watch these movies at home, or if I didn't see it, you see it at home, right? So I don't understand why you can't keep them both.
They actually save. Okay, when things are streamed and not when a movie is traditionally, in a theater, in a movie release, it is, here's how many tickets were sold. And that's the stuff that you see, the box office. And that's literally the box office of how many people went and saw that movie in seats. And when you're watching something streaming, you flip, you watch a minute of it, you leave it, you go here, maybe you watch the whole movie, maybe you don't watch it at all. It's a little bit harder to track in real time how much money a movie is making when it's only being streamed. And because of that, the studios can get away with not paying certain residuals and royalties to people who get back end and percentages. Maybe I'm getting very technical about the film, the film part of it, but it is a discussion within the unions, within IATSE, the IATC, SE, because there's people who aren't getting paid as much in royalties.
Correct.
And residuals because of streaming, and all of that stuff has just been shifting and changing since really.
Well,
since
it's wild because
get audited though. Do they allow auditing? Like independent, a third party come in there and just go through the books of the Warners or the whatever.
Yeah, what's so crazy about the whole streaming business was the fact that Netflix came in and started paying the Will Smiths and everybody all this money. And then Hollywood and they were like, well, you're not going to get your residuals because in other things you get, money later for your repeat viewings or it's sold elsewhere. Netflix was dropping so much money and people were like, whoa, okay, yeah, this weird new Netflix thing. Sure, I'll take a big payday and you guys can own the movie. Okay. That opened up the floodgates and now all numbers are hidden. And while they got a big payday in the front and it was valuable in the front, it's now changed the landscape in a way that I think is really changing the entertainment industry in the wrong direction because now there's no transparency. We have no idea how things are. Hold on, I just want to get this finished up. We have no idea where things are, how they do well. We can't even see as viewers on Netflix what's genuinely popular because Netflix is telling us what's popular through their algorithm based on what you watch, not based on actually popularity. Things that are popular are literally just an algorithm guessing what you're going to watch or some new stuff that they're hoping you'll watch. And it's not a good system anymore. And I'm starting to see it more and more. I'm like, well, I don't know what's good, Netflix. I don't want to just watch what you tell me to watch. Like I liked when there was, ups and downs and there was genuine ratings. Or a movie with bad ratings, I may still want to watch it because I just want to watch. Give me honest feedback, and none of them do. Beyond just that, like the talent has no idea how much to get paid on these shows. And so you have a hit show on Netflix, the creators and the writers are all just taking money because they're desperate right now, and they don't even know if they should be getting paid more or protecting themselves as creators because Netflix gets just pay them what they want by saying, well, your show is okay, but we're not going to tell you how okay, but we'll give you another season. Let's see how it goes. If it's a show like Stranger Things and they actually know the ratings, you'd think they want to be like, well, I want to get paid a lot more, right? But they can't because there's no transparency. And so all of this, I think, is really affecting not just the streaming world and everything else. It's affecting how we watch movies. It's affecting the content. I've seen articles or writers like, I don't know what to write anymore because I don't even know if what I'm writing is successful. And I feel like I'm just writing something that's being seen by nobody because there's nowhere else to go. So the streaming thing seemed like, oh yeah, everyone's excited. But then we got inundated with content. I never know what to freaking watch. There's no real good quality control. There's so many options. And yes, Lewis, HBO Max, the rumors are, is being funneled up in Discovery Plus. A lot of layoffs, planning, huge shakeup. This was reported today. The rumors around town are that it's going to happen. And it's interesting because I would think HBO is a much better brand than Discovery, but maybe he comes from Discovery. He wants to turn Discovery Plus into its TV brand, and then he wants to make Warner Brothers be the cinema brand and clearly, define a line. And then his movies can still premiere there, and that way both entities maybe have Warner Brothers Discovery. It does seem like maybe this is the end of HBO, which would be sad. Or maybe HBO is just a production company that becomes a channel and feature on Discovery Plus. Well, what an amazing show that was. I don't know where I cut it, but we had so much conversation. It was 3 hours worth. So you're going to want to become a member and check it out. Hit that join button, pick a tier. Any tier will do. Hit the join, and then you can go whack and watch on the members only playlist on the Popcorn Planet main channel page. Just scroll down, you'll see it. Members only replays are always there. You can always catch them if you're a member, or you can catch us live Andy time this week because there's a lot going on. Around 2-ish, I hope. Eastern Standard Time, but just subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll get notified, hopefully. Also, thanks to Steph the Alter Nerd for being here. Go subscribe to her as well. And Louis Lecco of Nerd Report. Amy Goodhart was here earlier, and Paige Vaughn is still here. You can find her on Instagram at PaigeVaughn_. So happy to have you all. Thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you guys for watching at home. Lots coming. You're not going to miss it here on Popcorn Planet. But in the meanwhile, enjoy your days. If you're watching live, you'll be redirected to Lewis's Nerd Report. If it didn't work, just go type in Nerd Report. He's live now. Go show him some love or click on these videos if they're there. Bye, everybody.